Hello, Hobart Elementary School families. I'm Jim Westcott, the building principal. In this video, we'll be sharing some specific information regarding the reopening of our school and what the new normal will look like for our students. We are exercising an abundance of caution to implement a plan that focuses on keeping our students and staff safe above all else. As we are sure you can understand and appreciate, there are countless components to safely reopen the building while adhering to the guidelines provided by New York State. Our plan will remain fluid and flexible, and we will be constantly assessing effectiveness, looking at data, and making adjustments to best serve our students and staff. As parents ourselves, sending our own children back to school and daycare settings, we understand the concern that you have for your child's safety and can assure you that the safety of our entire school community is our paramount priority for the upcoming school year. We are confident that working together, we can conquer these historic new times and make this a wonderful year for our students. At this time, I'm going to hand the presentation over to our assistant principal, Mr. Ciliata, who will be outlining some of our instructional practices in regard to hybrid and remote learning.
As you're aware, the district is offering hybrid as well as remote learning for all of our students. Your child will be assigned to a specific teacher whether he or she attends hybrid or full virtual learning. The classroom teacher will be creating developmentally appropriate instruction based on what they are teaching in the class. If your child is a hybrid learner, they will be receiving in-person instruction 2 days a week and virtual instruction for the remaining 3 days of the week. If your child is a full remote learner, they will be receiving virtual instruction 5 days a week. In this schedule, your child stays with the same teacher for the full year, regardless of the model. Each classroom teacher will have their own Google Classroom where students will be engaged during virtual learning. Grade level teams will be posting videos daily, one for ELA and one for math with social studies and science integrated within. Students will be encouraged to engage in these lessons prior to their scheduled virtual meeting time with their teacher for the day. During the virtual meet with your child's teacher, they will be engaged in a small group lesson and discussion with their teacher and other virtual peers, aligning to either the learning targets for the day or the assignment posted within their Google Classroom. These sessions will not be recorded and posted. We will continue to use the Pearson platform for our mathematics instruction. Although there is the opportunity to work directly with the teacher on a daily basis, if your child cannot access a device during this time, they can complete the work at another time that day. Teachers will be reaching out in an onboarding manner to introduce themselves, get your best contact information, and familiarize you with the procedures for virtual learning to set the stage for a successful start of the school year. Our self-contained special education population will be participating in full in-person learning 5 days a week unless the family has opted for their child to receive remote learning.
In order to comply with regulations, while students are in their classroom, they will be sitting at a desk 6 feet away from their peers. All of the desks in the classroom will be facing the same direction, which will be faced towards the focal point of instruction. Desks will be deep cleaned between each cohort's use. Students will be keeping their desk belongings, such as notebooks, folders, and writing utensils, in their own personal bin. Coats and backpacks will be stored based on teacher discretion and classroom configuration. We will no longer have carpets in any of our classrooms. Classrooms will be deep cleaned on Wednesdays when the students are not participating in in-person instruction. During the first week of school, when our A cohort students are in on Wednesday, the classrooms will be deep cleaned that night.
Each of our special area teachers will have a Google Classroom where students will be able to participate in their special for the day, whether it be physical education, art, library, or music. For students participating in the hybrid option, they will attend art, music, library, or physical education according to the master schedule for the days that they are in person. For our full remote learners, as well as those students that are participating in a virtual hybrid day, the special area teachers will be posting a video for their students along with an activity to complete. For students who will be engaging in in-person learning for specials, we would like to reassure parents that we are limiting the use of shared supplies, and the art room, music room, or gymnasium will be cleaned prior to the entry of another group of students. Students will follow a staggered, designated route for specials to avoid clustering in the hallways. Since physical education and music will require 12 feet of social distancing for aerobic activities and singing activities, they may be outside, weather permitting, or in other large available spaces. Those departments are also making curriculum changes to accommodate when they cannot meet those 12 feet requirements.
A lot of the questions that have been coming through to us have been around the topics of food service and recess. This year, breakfast will be delivered to the classrooms to eliminate gathering and lines in the cafeteria. Unfortunately, students will no longer be permitted to enter the building early, as there will not be staff available to monitor social distancing. We will only be serving breakfast in the classrooms. Since students will not be wearing masks while eating and still being mindful of food allergies, we will be eating lunch in our classrooms as well. Students can bring their lunch from home or have the school lunch. Students should bring a healthy snack for themselves and a bottle of water each day. In regard to recess, students will be permitted to use the playground and will be following a rotating schedule to ensure social distancing. Students will be participating in recess stations and will be required to wear masks.
In order to support our remote learners in both the full remote option as well as the hybrid option, students will not be receiving reading or LLI services for the first stage of reopening. Mandated resource room as well as E&L services will continue to be scheduled daily and will be both in-person and virtual based on your child's schedule. All students with IEPs will have all goals addressed and mandated services will be provided as prescribed. Related services such as OT, PT, and speech will be scheduled both in person and virtually. We will attempt to schedule those services for students while they are in school to the extent possible, although this may not be entirely possible based on scheduling conflicts and the number of services a child has. For those who are full virtual students, services will be scheduled virtually. CSE meetings are still taking place, but will also be held virtually.
Attendance will remain as is for our in-person learners. We are highly attuned to our families, so many of the structures put in place can be flexibly accommodated to support our working parents or those who have multiple children sharing a device. Attendance for our full remote as well as our hybrid learners who will be engaging in online activities on the days they are not receiving in-person instruction will be taken by looking to see if the students completed the Google Classroom assignments for that day.
In order to keep students healthy and safe, students and staff are expected to wear their masks even when socially distanced. However, teachers will schedule realistic mask breaks and consider the frequency and duration in the context of developmental appropriateness. Students must wear a mask when riding the school bus, walking through the hallways of the school, transitioning to and from specials, and in their classrooms. Teachers will also be working with students to help identify when they would need a mask break throughout the day as well.
Please make sure you complete the daily health survey on the parent portal every morning before your child comes to school. If your child is not screened prior to coming to school, a staff member will have to screen them at school. Each classroom has a hand sanitizer pump as well as disinfectant and sanitizer for teachers to use as needed. Students will have access to wash their hands as needed. We are no longer permitting celebratory foods for birthdays or holidays in the building. Please do not send in cupcakes or treats to celebrate your child's birthday, as we are no longer sharing food items at this time. Students will not have access to the water fountains in the building. We encourage children to bring their own reusable water bottle from home. We do have 2 filtered water stations that students can use to fill their water bottles as needed throughout the day. One is located in our 4th grade hallway, and the other is located outside of the gymnasium. Our nurse's office will have an isolation area which will keep students who could be exhibiting symptoms of COVID away from the rest of the school community. If a child is exhibiting symptoms of COVID, the nurse will call you to immediately pick your child up from school. If the school nurse suspects COVID, you must provide a doctor's note and evidence of a negative COVID test in order to return to school. No parents or visitors are permitted in the building during the first phase of the reopening.
Our custodial staff will be highly diligent in regard to their cleaning both throughout the school day and after hours. Each Wednesday, the building will be undergoing a deep cleaning while it is not occupied by students. While in the building, our students can expect to see our custodians throughout the course of the day in the hallways as well as in their classrooms, disinfecting doorknobs and frequently touched surfaces in an effort to maintain a safe and clean environment. There have been new accountability and tracking procedures put into place to ensure that all areas in the building are cleaned and sanitized on a regular and consistent basis. We recognize the increased importance of our custodial staff's contributions to our school community, and they are ready to take that role on. They have been given the resources to complete the job effectively and to keep our school community as safe as possible.
In an effort to socially distance our students, traffic patterns will be established in our hallways that limit the possibility of students crossing paths. In many cases, services and resources typically provided outside of the classroom will be delivered to the classroom to limit the amount of times that students have to leave their classroom space. Students will maintain social distancing when navigating our hallways, and masks will be worn. We will have strict sign-out procedures in place to limit the amount of students using the bathrooms at any given time. To the extent possible, we will have staff members monitoring the amount of students occupying each bathroom when feasible. The teachers will be working with their colleagues who share their hallway to provide staggered bathroom breaks to ensure that these spaces remain uncrowded and monitored.
For arrival each morning, parents wishing to drop their children off will do so in the small bus loop in the front of our informational sign that typically holds our minibuses. It will be a drop-and-go setup with staff members stationed outside to assist students in getting into the building. Please do not stop or exit your cars in the bus loop. We will need to keep traffic moving so that our students can exit their vehicles and enter the building in an expedient manner. When picking up your child at the end of the day, please park in the parking lot, not the bus loop, to ensure that our buses can operate smoothly. For students that take the bus, we will have additional staff in the bus loop to ensure student safety and assist students in entering and exiting the building safely.
As you may be aware, the William Floyd School District will be changing its first day of school to September 8, 2020. We are diligently working on creating the complex hybrid schedule, ensuring our facilities are ready, and working on staffing. It is important to know that Wednesday, September 9th, will be an in-person day for hybrid students on the A schedule. This will be the only Wednesday hybrid students will attend. We apologize for any inconvenience that this may cause. Meet the Teacher Night will be held virtually this year. Please set up your parent portal and be sure to complete the daily parent survey before school each day your child is in attendance. The parent portal will be open on August 24th. A mailing will be sent home shortly thereafter, which will include important information about your child's schedule, bus stop, and school procedures. Please work with your child to prepare for attending school. Show them what 6 feet apart looks like, and work with them in wearing appropriate face coverings in preparation for the school year. Please continue to submit questions to the Corona Hobart at wfsd.k12.ny.us address as they arise. We have been answering these questions either via email or through this presentation, and will continue to monitor that email address on a daily basis and respond in a timely manner. In regard to the air conditioning being installed at Hobart, We are hopeful that the system will be up and running, if not on the first day of school, shortly thereafter. Challenging at times await us all, but we are confident that in working side by side, we can overcome any obstacle and provide our students with a safe and meaningful educational experience. Our faculty and staff are highly talented, dedicated, and committed, and we are up for any challenge that we may face. We look forward to an historic year, keeping your children safe and making a positive impact in their lives. Thank you for your time and your continued support of the educational programs at John S. Hobart Elementary School.